Hey everybody, Brooke Sann here. Okay, we're going to jump right in. What is your job as a mom? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about 4 different things. And at the end, we're going to talk about why is it so hard? Being a mom is so hard. And I'm going to tell you why it's so hard. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is that we need to meet our own needs. Our job as a mom is to take care of us. That's your first responsibility, your basic needs. And I'm going to link a video that I made, how to take care of yourself, above. So look there, watch that after you watch this one. Okay, so we need to meet our physical needs. What are our physical needs as a mom? All right, it's pretty simple, ladies. We need to eat. We need to bathe and shower. We need to exercise. We need to use the restroom when our body tells us we need to. What are our spiritual needs? We need to make sure that we are connected to something bigger than ourselves, right? That we know our purpose and our reason for being here. And our emotional needs, we need to be able to coach ourselves when we're having mental, when we have spinning thoughts and mental overload. That's when we need to kind of take a quiet moment and write our thoughts down, right? And we need to have that connection with our spouse or a connection with our kids. So those are some of our basic needs. And again, I made a video, how to take care of yourself. Watch that after you watch this if you need a little refresher. Okay, why do we need to meet our own needs before we start meeting our children's needs? I'm gonna tell you. Resentment comes when we are not giving ourselves what we need. Okay, and I've worked with a lot of moms, especially working moms, who they have resentment towards their spouse. They have resentment towards their children because they're not taking care of themselves first. So resentment comes when we are not meeting our own needs. Okay. So let's take care of ourselves so then we can show up as the best version of ourselves. Right. And it's not just because we want to be the best. It's because if we want to take care of other people, we need to set the example for them too, right? If we expect our children to get dressed and eat breakfast and say their prayers and do all those things, then we need to do it as well. We need to meet our own needs. So we are living the highest example of what we want our children to be and to do, right? We need to create the expectation that we expect from them. Okay. The second thing we need to do, our job as a mom, this is the easiest one, is love them. Your job as a mom is to love your kids, but not just when they're cute and sweet. We need to love them when they're driving us crazy, when they're making poor choices. We need to love them when they're struggling. We need to love them no matter what. And this might be easier or harder for some of us, but the idea that we love unconditionally. It's not dependent on if they behave. It's not dependent on if they listen or if they're doing great in school, right? We love no matter what. That is the purest love that we can give. And that's for our spouse too, right? To love unconditionally. Nothing bad is ever going to happen from a place of love. Did you know that you don't have to be angry to enforce a consequence? That one took me a while to really grasp. I thought I had to be mad. If they did something wrong, I had to be mad to enforce a consequence, but that's not true. We love them. We want them to make good choices, but we love them when they don't make good choices. And we're there to help them and offer more help and direction and say, hey, I'm sorry that didn't go well, or I'm sorry that you made that poor choice. I love you. Even though you made a bad choice, I still love you. And when we come from that place of love, we're showing up as the best version of ourselves. And it feels so good to love. It feels good for us. I always love to tell my clients, when we love someone, we are the ones feeling the love, right? Our kids can't feel love from us, right? Because our thoughts create our feelings. our kids might think, man, my mom is really sweet right now, or that was so sweet that she did that. And then they have a feeling of love because of their thoughts. But we can't throw our emotions on other people, right? We can't have them absorb our love. It doesn't work like that. We show love because we want to feel the love. So the third thing, our third responsibility, our third job as a mom is to offer help. Okay? There's going to be so many times in their lives where you see them struggling. Like I think about a toddler who's just learning how to get into a chair, right? Like you just want to pick them up and put them in the chair, right? But it's their responsibility. They want to be in the chair. We need to help them or offer help. Like, hey, how can I help you in this? And they will be quick to tell you how they need help. This morning, my son, the bus was coming, and he was frantically running around. And instead of me yelling what he should be doing, I said, Forrest, how can I help you? And he's like, Mom, I can't find my shoes. Can you help me find my shoes? I'm like, absolutely. Naturally, I want to be like, where are your shoes? Where's your mask? Where's your water bottle? What do? Right? But let's let them have the responsibility of what they're in charge of. And we just get to offer them help at any age, even as a teenager, right? Let them have their own life. This sounds kind of funny, but like, let them be in charge of them. And then we get to just show up, right? Because we've taken care of ourselves. We've met our own needs. We get to show up. We get to love them. And then we get to offer them help and like, oh, how can I help you in this? This seems like a challenge. I'm here for you. But until we meet our own needs and we show up with love, we can't offer help. Because we're just like, what are you doing? Why? At least that's how I feel sometimes. And then our fourth job as a mom, and this is the fun one, is to hold them accountable. And some of you might not know what that means, okay? So accountability is when we get to step in and do our biggest job as a mom. That's when we get to say, hey, I'm holding you accountable because you just hit your brother, or you just said a word that wasn't okay, right? So that's when we get to decide. We use the prefrontal part of our brain, which is the decision parting, our highest brain. Get to sit down and decide with our spouse or whoever, what are some boundaries? What are some rules in our home? Okay, and then we share them with our children, and then it's totally up to them. Their behavior has nothing to do with us. But when they cross over a boundary, we step in and say, hey, that didn't go well, did it? This is what happens when you do this. I'm sorry. It's disappointing, I know. And you can meet them with their emotions, right? They might be disappointed. They might be angry. They might be frustrated. But because we've taken care of us, we get to just show up as the best version of ourselves and be ready to be the mom. And having 3 sons, I have to remind myself when they refuse to get in the car seat and get buckled, or when I see them all wrestling each other and hurting each other. I'm like, oh, this is the part. All right, brain, here we go. We get to be the mom. This is the part we get to jump in and hold them accountable, right? It's so simple, or at least it seems so simple. We really don't have that many responsibilities. We take care of us. We love them. We offer help. We hold them accountable. But this is when it gets difficult, okay? Why is it so hard? If this is all we have to do, why is it so hard? And I'm going to tell you. This is where my downfall is, okay? We all of us like to indulge in emotions that stop our progress as a mother. I'm going to name a few, and you tell me if these kind of resonate with you. So some indulgent emotions are overwhelm, anxiety, confusion, self-doubt, exhaustion. Okay? There are so many. And so an indulgent emotion is something that it's very comfortable for us. Like my favorite is confusion. Like before I got my training, I was always like, I don't know what to do. What's the best way to parent? What's the best way to potty train? What's the best way to sleep train? I would read all these books and consume so much information thinking that I just didn't know which way was the best. But that wasn't true at all. Doing all of that, spinning and consuming and learning and researching, and I'd ask this mom and I'd ask that mom and I'd ask my mom, right? And I would create all of this drama, all of this brain chatter that wasn't necessary at all. Because when we're indulging in this emotion, right, whatever it is, anxiety, overwhelm, doubt, confusion, it stops our progression. Then we just don't make a decision. We can't have our own back and move forward, right? When we're confused, when we're doubting ourselves, when we're anxious, when we're overwhelmed, we can't move forward. It binds us up. We can't follow through. We can't love. We can't offer help. We can't hold them accountable, right? Okay, so this is where I come in. This is where we get to look and say, hey, you are not progressing the way you want to be as a mom because you're being bound up with your emotions, right? So we need to start being aware, like, oh yeah, I'm feeling very confused right now. My brain's trying to keep me safe, right? Our lower brain, as I've told you in other videos, is our like caveman brain, right? So it has 3 jobs. Our brain's trying to keep us safe, it's trying to preserve energy, and it's trying to seek pleasure, right? So if we get into some of these like confusion, our brain is trying to keep us confused so we don't make a decision that could cause some negative emotion, right? Like sometimes it's hard when we have to follow through on a consequence, right? When we have to hold our kids accountable, like, oh, I don't want to do that because my kid's going to be mad. They're going to be frustrated. Maybe they're going to throw something or they're going to stomp off and tell me they hate me, right? So our brain's like, no, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure. We're going to just stay right here and not make a decision. But that's not helpful. It's not helpful at all because we're not able to progress at all. So we have to stop this brain drama, this madness, this chatter that goes on in there, right? I've told you guys that we have on average 40,000 thoughts a day, right? And so we need to be intentional about the way that we're thinking as a mom. Your only job as a mom is to love your children, to offer them help, to hold them accountable. That's it. That's all we have to do, right? And sometimes we can't do that because we have so much mind drama going on. We have all these emotions. And guess what? When you're running your life from emotions, right? It's like we're driving a car and then, nope, I'm not driving anymore. Now my overwhelm's driving. Now my confusion's driving. Well, if you're driving your life from a place of emotions, if your emotions are driving your life, of course that's why your life is a hot mess. You're not being an intentional mom. You're not living the best life you could be. You're just haphazardly getting through it. And that's not fun. I've been there. So let's take a moment and just be kind of aware of what we're creating, right? Like, so the next time that you have a job to do as a mom and you don't know what to do, or I feel so anxious, I'm so nervous, right? Whenever those indulgent emotions hop up, that's when we be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling anxious right now. I'm feeling nervous. Become aware and keep it simple. Your job as a mom is to meet your own needs, love them, offer help, and hold them accountable. That's it. All right, ladies, you got this. Get out there, be the best mom you can be. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope that you guys like this video, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye.